People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
What's up, everybody? That's right, I am finally back from my vacation, and it's been a very nice break from the game, but I am back. And you know, about a week ago we had the clones come out with their reworks. The 501st rework made them a very deadly team. I had a video out at the time talking about just how awesome the team is, and I have been getting hit with a lot of questions from people about Zetas and modding for the clones and just what's prioritized for them. So we're gonna break that down today, finally get those questions answered for everybody who's been hounding me on both Twitter and Discord about this. So we're gonna go ahead and break that down, talk about your Zeta priorities, which Zetas to go for first, how to mod these characters, how to really get out the full power of them, especially with certain Zetas, like the one on 5s with Sacrificing himself. There's ways to mod him to really maximize that potential. So currently in the game, we have 4 Zetas on the 501st clones here. You have 2 on 5s, 1 on Rex, and 1 on Echo. Now, those Zetas, they're all pretty solid, but the one that I recommend going for first here is going to be the Tactical Awareness Zeta on 5s. That is the one that gives his health and protection, his speed and offense to the other 501st clone allies if he sacrifices himself. One thing to keep in mind with this is that I believe it's been mentioned once or twice on the forums, is that in order to have this work properly, 5s needs to be in the 5th slot on your character selection for the team. Don't really know why that is. It's a bug. They're aware of it. They're trying to figure it out and see if they can get it fixed. Now, the next one on the list is the 501st Captain ability for Rex, and that Zeta is the cooldown reductions. That's going to be very helpful. Number 1, it's going to make 5s taunt a lot more often, and 2, that also is going to help reduce the cooldown on the EMP grenade for Echo, which is really good for when fighting droid teams, and also that's an AoE dispel, so it's a very handy ability. Really making sure you can get that often with Echo is very helpful. And then coming in at number 3 is 5's Domino Squad ability. This was actually the old Zeta for Tactical Awareness, so if you already had this Zeta on 5s, when he got his rework, you now have this Zeta as well. That happened with my 5s with the rework. He has this Zeta still. This is the one that gives a bonus turn meter whenever allies take damage, doubled if it's a clone ally. And then number 4, we have the Domino Squad for Echo ability with that Zeta with the max health damage when dodging attacks. This one, it's very good when you're fighting teams that have a lot of dodge, but those are very niche. It's a very situational one. This is why I have it last here. It's gonna be great for someone when you're fighting like against Jedi Knight Revan or BB-8 and Jedi Knight or Jedi Train raid teams that really have a lot of dodging and foresight with them. This Zeta is very helpful for those, but you don't see a lot of those very often, and they're very, it's a very situational Zeta, so not one I could really recommend here. Now, if you're wanting to bring in some of the other Zetas here, I know you guys are probably asking about this, what about Shaak Ti and what about Ahsoka? Because her Zeta with Ahsoka, you know, she's got that 501st tag now, she's really getting a lot of synergy with these guys. And what about Shaak Ti with her lead and unique, because Shaak Ti is still the best leader overall for using with these clones. I have it here with Shaak Ti lead being after the first Zeta for 5s, Ahsoka's unique after Rex, and then the unique for Shaak Ti after 5's second Zeta. The unique for Shaak Ti, still pretty good, but the other Zetas are just much more helpful. Ahsoka has that great synergy now, so that is a very useful unique that you can get with these clones, and actually I found some good success with it so far. And then the leadership for Shaak Ti with the protection and health regeneration, still a very solid Zeta, and that's why I have it so high up here. But that sacrifice Zeta on 5s just turns Echo and Rex into monsters, so it's overall, that Zeta is still my number 1 priority. So when it comes to modding your clones, I'm going to be going over 6 characters here, your 5 clones and Shaak Ti, since, you know, they're so integral to each other. Let's go ahead and start with Cody here. You know, he's kind of fallen out of favor because he's not 501st, but he's still a very solid character to use with them because of his mass assist. So with that in mind, your goal for him should be to boost his speed. That means going for some pretty solid speed secondaries on him, just kind of boosting his speed, getting some health and protection. You can go for health or protection on the circle in the crosshair. you know, honestly, you're going to get a better return on health because of the Shock T lead. Even with Rex, you get a better return on health now. Crit chance on the triangle, you know, helping to boost his crit chance. That way that he helps reduce the cooldown on his mass assist, because the more crits you land with that, the more the cooldown is reduced. So that's always very helpful, and you already have the Echo unique that gives a 20% bonus crit chance to your clone allies. So that, coupled with the triangle here, it's going to get him pretty close to 100% crit chance, and then obviously speed on the arrow. For other secondaries, you don't really have to worry too much on offense. He doesn't do a lot of damage, but your goal for him should be to get some speed, and also, if you can get some bonus potency on him as well to help land stuns with his other special, that's perfectly fine, but you shouldn't sacrifice speed to stack up more potency. Your main focus for him should be speed because you need him to go fast. Now, next up, the other clone that's kind of the odd man out here, Clone Sergeant Phase 1. The goal with him, and the same goal that we'll be dealing with Echo here in a moment, is offense. Really stack up that offense. That is what you want to go for here, and that's because you don't really have to worry about speeding him up too much. His basic gives him 50% Terminator when he lands critical hits. His unique gives him bonus crit chance as well with the Echo unique. So he's going to have something like 38% bonus crit chance at all times anyways. So that coupled with his, I believe, at least 60% at gear 13, he's going to be close to 100% crit chance already. That's really something you don't have to worry about. So crit chance mod set on him is fine. You can also go for potency if you want to do that. Potency will help with his AoE Terminator removal, but you can see on all these secondaries, I'm stacking a lot of offense on him. Obviously, offense on the arrow, offense on the cross. You can go for health and protection again on the circle, just like with Commander Cody. Doesn't really make that much of a difference here, but look at this. Almost 900 offense and then 28% bonus with everything here between the primaries and secondaries. He's running a lot of offense, and you can see only 30 speed, not that big of a deal. That's nothing too crazy. So that's all pretty standard for Clone Sergeant, stacking up that offense. Now with Echo, it's pretty similar to Clone Sergeant, but at the same time, helping to speed him up a little bit is going to be helpful here because he doesn't have the bonus Terminator gains like Sergeant does, and his AoE with the grenade that can stun droids and also dispel buffs, that is very helpful. So speeding up a little bit, not too bad. So about 50 speed on him, that's perfectly fine. And with that in mind, a speed arrow on him. You don't have to do this. I mean, if you can get some solid speed secondaries elsewhere while not sacrificing too much offense, that's fine. But you can see I have a pretty high offense secondary on this arrows anyways. So 32 speed plus 112 offense, that's perfect for him. And then some bonus crit damage here, and you can also see I'm stacking up some potency because clones are actually a pretty solid General Grievous counter now. So the grenade on Echo can stun droids. So if you can stack up some potency on him too, that'll be very helpful. But still, again, don't sacrifice offense to go for that. You can see some decent potency here, but also 129 offense. That's pretty good for what you want to go for Echo. Get that offense and also maybe get a slight helping of potency at the same time. And then health on the circle, some speed here, and then not really a lot of offense, but this is one that kind of had a sacrifice for him. So if I can get something here with more offense on it, that'd be great. And then going to the diamond, some more potency, some bonus crit chance, and some bonus offense. So people are probably going to be asking, why am I stacking crit chance on Echo? Because clones can guarantee critical hits with him. If you run into a team that doesn't like guarantee those critical hits from your clones, if the team that has a base crit avoidance leadership or something like Karth or someone on the enemy team is able to not get critically hit, at least you can use this crit chance to help boost Echoes on his own and make sure that he can still critically hit. So that's why I still recommend a crit chance set on Echo here with crit damage. Obviously crit damage because, you know, clones by nature are a very high crit chance team anyway, so crit damage is very helpful for them here, though for one other clone, you're much better going for offense, but we'll talk about that here in a moment. But you can see here, I'm running 15% potency on Echo, about 45 speed, go for about 40 to 50, that's where you want to go for Echo, and then also just stack up his offense. So if I could go for an offense arrow on him instead of this speed arrow, I'd love to do that, but there's also such a high base secondary for offense on there, I'm going to allow it. Now, moving on to the next character, 5s. I just said that clones by nature have very high crit chance, so crit damage is great for them. Fives goes against the grain here for the simple reason of his Zeta with the sacrifice. The more offense you can stack on Fives and he is able to sacrifice himself, that's going to turn your clones into just absolute killers. So with that in mind, offense and defense sets are how I'm running him. I've seen people run tenacity instead of defense on him to help prevent dazes from landing on him. That is perfectly fine, but I personally prefer a defense set on him. His arrow has speed on it, and then you're also going to go for some pretty solid speed secondaries on him, which seems kind of counterintuitive considering his considering his Domino Squad Zeta. Still getting that old Zeta in my mind with the bonus turn meter gain, but at the same time, the more often that he can go, that is very helpful because it allows him to taunt and call target assist more often, but also again, his speed will be transferred to the other clones if he sacrifices himself. So high speed, high offense secondaries is how you want to go. And you can also stack up his protection and health a bit too. You can see I've got two mods here with some pretty good protection percent secondaries. So those are very helpful. And then health on the circle, offense on the cross, and then offense on the triangle. Remember, your goal here is to stack up offense on fives. The goal for fives is to eventually have him sacrifice himself so that he can give those stats to the other clones. So if you can run him at a pretty high speed, I believe I have him somewhere around 230 speed and then somewhere just under 5k offense. When he dies, those stats go to the other clones. So you're talking a lot of bonus speed and offense throw it onto those other clones. That is how I have him modded. Again, tenacity if you want to help prevent him from being dazed, but I personally prefer something more like this with a high offense, high speed, that it really punishes an enemy team that doesn't kill him. It really makes the enemy team go for fives, and fives is a very durable character already with his high armor, which is why I have the high defense, which is why I have the defense mod set on him. So fives is a character that enemy teams really have to focus on so that he doesn't end up switching his stats over to the other clones. And of course, in the process, he's going to punish them by countering, putting speed down, and just doing a lot of damage at the same time. Now, moving on to the final clone here, Captain Rex, speed set again for him. I've seen people throw tenacity sets on him as well. My personal goal for him was to just make him fast. So obviously, speed on the arrow, and then go for some speed mods that have pretty good speed secondaries on them. You want him going fast because the one big drawback for him with his Zeta is that his Zeta with the cooldown reduction does not affect his abilities, and that includes his aerial annihilate ability. So you need him going fast so that he can quickly get that off cooldown and just wipe out enemy characters on the other team. That's what you want to go for, and that is why you want to make him go fast. He's not going to get those cooldown reductions, so you need to offset that by making him really fast. And of course, also keep in mind that if 5 sacrifices himself, that's a lot of bonus speed on Rex as well. And also do keep in mind, Rex has the unique that gives the 4% bonus speed per 501st ally. So take him with his speed that I have him at right now, which is about 295, and then add another 12% onto that. You're talking 320, 330 speed on him at that point. He is super fast. That can outspeed a lot of Darth Revans too, and that's going to be very helpful for making him good for countering Darth Revan in the future. And then finally, Shock T. Now, Shock T, she does not get the bonuses from her leadership that the clones do. She doesn't get the bonus speed, and she doesn't get the health and protection regeneration, so you do have to keep that in mind, but she will get bonus health per clone ally, 15% per clone trooper ally, only 5% bonus protection per clone trooper ally. So health is much more important for her, and that's why health is much better than protection for all the clones, is because either her lead or Rex's lead, both of them really stack up a lot of bonus health. So health is a much better primary on that circle and even on that cross for some characters. So health there, and really I'm just going for high speed secondaries on her once again, just like with Rex, but I'm also giving her a health set here as well. You can see I've got a lot of offense on this arrow, and she does some pretty solid damage on her own, but also she can give offense up to your team, and that's pretty big too. So if you can have her going fast, give her her basic, which can dispel, she can counter, she can give offense up to your team, making her go fast so you can get a lot more mass assist and targeted assist with her second ability that gives a lot of health and protection regeneration. All that's really good. So making her fast is the paramount thing here, so you can get to her abilities a lot quicker. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. This is just beginning. It's going to be a very busy weekend. I've got a lot of clone stuff planned, talking about different teams to use with them, some catching up, some conspiracy stuff about future character possibly coming. A lot to break down, so strap yourselves in. It's going to be a very busy weekend. Hopefully this has answered all of your questions about modding and Zetas for the clones. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below. As always, guys, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I will talk to you guys later.